While she and Ramonda are happy to see each other, Ramonda notes Nakia was absent from T'Challa's funeral. Nakia tells her that she couldn't bear to think of it as being the end of his life, even though Ramonda reminds her that for Wakandans, death is never the end. She asks Nakia for help in rescuing Shuri. Down in Talokan, Shuri is given traditional garbs to wear before meeting with Namor. Nakia goes to speak to a local village woman in the Yucatan Peninsula, as she has seen Namor and describes his legend as Kuk-Ulkan, or the feathered serpent god. He begins to tell her his backstory. In 1571, his mother, Maria Mercedes Caroy, was part of a village that had been plagued by smallpox after the arrival of Spanish conquistadors. The people turned to the god Chak for salvation. They found a blue material underwater that they ingested to cure them of their ailments, but while it removed their sicknesses, it turned their skin blue and forced them underwater since they could no longer breathe air. Namor was born different from the others, with wings on his ankles, and the ability to breathe on land and underwater. His mother died heartbroken due to missing her life on the surface, and when he went to bury her, he found the conquistadors raiding and enslaving the villagers. Namor and the Talokans attacked, with one priest referring to Namor as un niño sin amor, a child without love, and that's where he got his name, because he has no love for the surface world. He takes Shuri further and shows her his kingdom, a prosperous and thriving nation not unlike Wakanda, and he asks Shuri to help protect their kingdoms against the rest of the world. Nakia begins her mission to recover Shuri and Riri. Meanwhile, Ramonda meets with Namor after she speaks to Ross, who informed her that the CIA is seeking to take action against Wakanda for the mining ship attack. When she tells Namor to accept responsibility for it, he warns Ramonda about taking retaliatory action against the Wakandans if they threaten Talokan's exposure. Nakia makes her way underwater and neutralizes Namor's cousin Namora, Mabel Cadena, before she can attack Shuri. She escapes with Shuri and Riri, but Namor finds the warrior as she dies, taking it as an attack on Wakanda's part, so he leads his warriors to strike back. In the city, Nakia reunites with Okoye, but they soon see the area flooding before they realize they are under attack. The Talokans begin to water bomb the city, flooding the places and destroying buildings. M'Baku, Winston Duke, leads his Jabari warriors in battle while Shuri attempts to fight back with her tech. Namor makes it to the palace and water bombs it heavily, causing Ramonda and Riri to sink. Namor orders Shuri to join them in the attack against the surface world, or Wakanda will be completely destroyed. Ramonda manages to pull Riri to the surface, but they are both unconscious. The Dora Milaje managed to revive Riri, but Ramonda is gone. A funeral is held for Ramonda. M'Baku attempts to console Shuri and offer counsel, as T'Challa requested of him, but she is mourning the loss of her whole family. Meanwhile, Val has Ross arrested after learning he was talking to Ramonda in secret. While the rest of Wakanda gears up for Namor's return, Shuri finishes work on her Midnight Angel suits for Okoye and another Dora Milaje warrior, Annika, Michaela Cole, while Riri works on her own iron suit. Shuri finds that the bracelet that Namor gave her contains a material that the Talokans use to live underwater, which she mixes with T'Challa's DNA to successfully create a synthetic heart-shaped herb. With Nakia and Okoye, Shuri ingests the herb and goes into the ancestral plane, hoping to see Ramonda to give her guidance. Instead, she is met by an unwanted presence, Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan. He explains that she sees him because she is being driven by her desire for revenge against Namor for her mother's death and her anger over her brother's death, stating that she is just like him. Killmonger also says T'Challa was too noble and would have also chosen to spare Namor like he did Zemo after his father was killed. When Shuri wakes up, she is unable to tell Nakia that she saw Killmonger and feels that her mother and brother abandoned her. However, she knows it is now up to her to lead the kingdom in battle, so she goes to find her own helmet. As the tribes are debating their next move, a ship flies overhead, and Shuri descends for the first time in her new Black Panther outfit. M'Baku proudly declares that the Black Panther lives. Shuri then gives everyone a speech about what they have to do next. Shuri and Riri come up with a plan for drawing Namor toward a dry area to weaken him so he may be defeated. The Wakandans board a ship to prepare for battle, and they send out a signal from another vibranium detecting machine to lure the Talokans to them. They engage in their showdown, with the Talokans attempting to board the ship while Dora Milaje and Jabari warriors fight back. Riri emerges in her new Ironheart armor suit while Okoye and Annika fly in with their Midnight Angel suits. Namor gets high enough for Riri to hit him with a blast, and Shuri catches him in her ship to begin evaporating the water on his skin. Riri is attacked by Namora while Okoye has a rematch with Atuma. Namor attempts to break the ship with his spear, but Shuri fights him with her suit. Shuri tries to have the ship fly toward the desert, but Namor succeeds in breaking it down and destroying it, causing them to crash. Shuri and Namor continue their fight, with Namor still having enough strength to beat Shuri and impale her. Thinking on Killmonger's words, Shuri is able to free and heal herself before going back to fighting Namor. She uses the exhaust from her ship to fire enough heat toward Namor to severely weaken him. She grabs his spear and prepares to deal the killing blow until she sees a vision of Ramonda speaking to her, telling her to show him who she really is. Shuri orders Namor to yield so that neither of their people has to suffer from their pursuits for revenge, and Namor agrees. He yields and is taken back to the Talikans to call off their fight and return home. In the aftermath, Shuri sends Riri home back to Boston but tells her she has to leave her suit there for fear that the US will resume quarrels with Wakanda. She does present Riri with the car that belonged to her father, now fixed up. Back in Talokan, Namor speaks to Namora and tells her it was necessary to ally themselves with Wakanda since they have no other allies to protect them, and this will work in their own favor. Meanwhile, Okoye goes to break out Ross from captivity. Shuri travels to Haiti to meet with Nakia by a beach, as she says there is one thing she needs to do. She sits by a campfire and burns her ceremonial garbs, as she sits down to reminisce about T'Challa and finally grieve for his death. During the credits, Nakia brings a boy, Toussaint, who is her and T'Challa's son, and therefore Shuri's nephew. Nakia confirms that Ramonda met him before her death, and that he has been living peacefully there. Toussaint tells Shuri that his Wakanda name is T'Challa. Shuri sits and smiles, knowing her brother's legacy lives on. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos.